Hey, Dicky Biggie.
What's up?
I got my sidekick here joining me for another one. Right? It is warm outside, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hot, it's sticky, it's been sticky all weekend. It was relatively hot all week. Actually, we had some decent days this week in the 80s. A little bit of rain kind of moved through, not a ton. I think we need more. It looks like, unfortunately, possibly tomorrow night through July 4th, we might get some rain. Would that be a bummer?
For fireworks?
We'll figure out. We'll shoot fireworks around the rain. Speaking of which, have a very safe and happy July 4th holiday coming up here. I know a lot of you are off this weekend, probably off tomorrow, probably off Tuesday. I know we are at Clam. It's awesome. So we're having some fun time here, doing a lot of different things. Be safe on the water. It's going to be extremely busy. This is usually the busiest weekend and time on the water, right? Yes. A lot of boats all over the place. They're zipping and zooming around. Be mindful, pay attention to your surroundings. Just always err on the defensive side of things. Not trying to be your mom and dad, but just err on the defensive side of things. Take note that possibly a lot of the people on the water this weekend and the next couple days aren't on the water much. So they may not have the experience you have, whatever, at the boat launch, driving from spot to spot. They might not know what the buoys mean. So just have a little bit of composure this time of year. But get out there, have some fun, enjoy the water. Sunscreen, UPF shirts, plenty of water, hydrate, bring a tube, right? Go tubing.
Yeah.
Get in the water, enjoy it. So have a blessed and awesome Independence Day. Eat a bunch of food, I know we are. So, okay, on to fishing. Fishing this last week, I can tell you there's been one consistent theme. One consistent theme this entire week on all the bodies of water I fished. And it's rocks. Find hard bottom, find rocks, especially in weed flats or amongst weeds, you catch fish. We caught a lot of fish on hard bottom spots. It seems to be like that 8 to 12 foot, 8 to 15 foot range with rocks and weeds mixed has been very key. However, we've caught a bunch of fish shallow still, but we've been fishing some dirtier parts of lakes or dirtier lakes in general, where these shallower bites will be prolonged during these hot dog days of summer. We can catch fish shallow in under 8 feet of water, 5 feet of water, 3 feet of water in these dirty stained waters when the sun's up. And that's something a lot of people don't think about. They often go, it's summertime, boy, it's July, water temps on my graph say 82 degrees, gotta go deep. There's something to be said about that, but look at your water content, the water clarity. Look at what type of system you're fishing. Do you have an influx of water? Is it a river system? Is it a river system with dirty water? You may find your fish shallow the entire year. And we did that. We found some fish shallow. We found some fish in 2, 3, 4 feet of water, some big smallmouth, some nice largemouth. Water temps were 83.5 degrees. Everything in a person's nature is going to tell you to move deep. They're going to find that cooler water, but we got stained water. We got some weed growth, we got some gravel, we got some rocks, we got a little bit of stuff coming in and out, some influx of water. We found these fish shallow. So just keep that as a rule of thumb. Don't rule anything out on any body of water. Now, if you're fishing a deeper body of water, very clear, really deep weed growth, deep coontail in like 20 feet of water, like 20, 24 feet of water, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of fish staging deeper, deep rock piles, that kind of stuff. So I know every week I give you this report and I talk about some very general ways we're catching our fish. Sometimes it's different on your body of water, depending on the characteristics, the water clarity, the depths, the weed growth, all sorts of things. So a lot of you have hit me up with questions, have sent me messages over the weeks, and you're asking me different things on how am I going to find my fish? You know, I'm struggling here to find fish. I'll ask you some simple things. What's your water like? How deep do the weeds grow? What's the rock and gravel situation like? Some of these things that I'm going to ask you will help me kind of digest the most appropriate response. So think about some of those things when you go fishing. Shallow water movements, we're moving with swim baits, we're moving with chatter baits, we're doing things like that. My son crushed fish on a popper on Friday. He was throwing a popper over 3 to 6 feet of water for smallmouth in the middle of the day. Water temps were 84 degrees, and he was catching them. He was catching largemouth and smallmouth on poppers. He was kicking my butt. While I'm trying to fish subsurface baits, slow down, he's fishing a popper. So you never know what these fish are gonna want. One thing to talk about in terms of rocks, I wanted to show you 3 ways that's easy to find and catch fish on rocks. There's a ton of ways you can do it. You can throw a swim bait, you can throw a chatterbait, you can flip a jig, you can throw a wacky rig, you can throw a Senko, you can throw a Ned rig. You can do all kinds of things on rocks, right? But these are real simple ways from all-terrain tackle to fish rocks. You got a football head jig. We've probably seen that. Football head jig, rock jig, roller jig, all kinds of definitions. That's going to have that football-shaped head. It's going to have a skirt, it's going to have a weed guard, trailer lock, fully built, ready for you to rock. Throw a trailer on there, pitch it around. You have various sizes depending on how deep you're going to fish, wind conditions, how fast you want to get down there. Everything from a 3/8 to a 1 ounce, and away you go. You have a rock jig. Rock jig. Boom. Rock jig, which is basically a football head with nothing on it. So now you add your favorite skirt, you add your trailer, whatever it might be, super stout hook, super easy. That football head is wide, it drags across the bottom easy, it detects rocks much more efficiently than different shaped heads. Rock jig's an easy way to go. Then you have a swing head rock jig. This is gonna allow you to put whatever hook you want on your, so it goes from football head that's skirted, full package deal ready to go, to a rock jig that has the hook built in, to just a swing head rock jig where you actually add your favorite hook. You can turn this into more of a shaky presentation. You can have a flipping hook on here. You can have a worm hook. You can do whatever you want with that head. But these three options are going to give you kind of what you need to really target rocks and make it effective and efficient and fairly simple, not overthinking things. Three great approaches to find the rock, which is first and foremost. If you're not on the rock, you're not going to be fishing a rock spot, right? That sounds very John Madden-ish. To state the obvious, you need to be on the rock, on the hard bottom, make that right cast, and these are some things that can help you do it. Another way is a Carolina rig. Research the Carolina rig. 20 years ago, that was one of my favorite presentations. I shied away from it for many, many years. Not 100% why. In recent years, it's been booming again with the professional bass series. You're seeing people catch fish on it, and it's coming back. Throw a sea rig, throw a Carolina rig. Google it, research it, YouTube it, and see exactly how they're fished. A variety of different ways to rig it. You know, brass and beads, glass beads, non-brass, non-beads, all kinds of ways to fish a Carolina rig. Check that out. That should be something you want to consider in your arsenal as well. Don't forget about the Ned rig, the Nico rig. We're catching fish. We were throwing a small swim bait to catch a bunch of fish. Perch little thing that matched what I was fishing. Again, perch might not be the primary forage on your body of water. On the body of water we fished the other day, it absolutely was. I matched the hatch, picked exactly what these fish were feeding, got bit a whole bunch of times. Super, super simple. So a lot of ways to chase these fish. We're having a whole lot of fun. I would start looking at deeper water stuff. If the body of your water is fishing deep and you have the deep weeds, it is summer patterns. Get good at fishing deep though. I know I hit you hard with shallow rocks and this and that. Sure, that's just what I found this week on the body of water I was fishing. However, a lot of lakes we're gonna fish this time of year, offshore is where it's at. That's where you're gonna catch your better bass. You're gonna have the jig worm rod in your hand, the drop shot rod in your hand, throwing deep crankbaits, throwing something, a deep rock jig. Practice deep water bass fishing, and I promise you, you'll catch more fish this summer. What do you think? What do you want to catch the next time you go out? Don't say tarpon.
The fish that I caught with my also rod.
Ooh, big bass. You want to
Just
catch
to
big
let you
bass
guys
and
know-
pike?
Just to let you guys know, Elsa rods are the best. to
Elsa
use.
rods. She loves Elsa rods. Well, your rod, one of your rods is over here, the blue one from Shimano we got rigged up. We have to go out there and catch some more fishies. So we're gonna have some fun the next few days. We're gonna hang out, right? Do a little swimming,
Yep.
jump around, eat some food, rough house, goof off, enjoy our holiday. Does that sound like a good plan? Do you got any tips of it or advice for July 4th for anyone watching?
Either you could like sell lemonade.
Sell lemonade?
In your cul-de-sac, you can make bracelets and sell them like I'm doing.
Oh, make bracelets. Lemonade stand is cool. Stay hydrated.
And if you don't want to make jigs, you could try to make a 4th of July jig.
Make a 4th of July jig. That's a good idea. So we're gonna have some fun. Be out there, be safe. I'll hit you up next week, and then the week after that, going to ICAST, and I will report back that following weekend with a little bit of an ICAST report on what I saw. So that's 2 weeks away. We got another whole week of fishing ahead of us. Get out there, be safe, set some hooks. For me, I'm gonna eat some food on Tuesday. We're gonna make a run tomorrow, I think, to Mille Lacs. Haven't been up there at all really this year. I'm gonna become a professional walleye fisherman for a day on Mille Lacs tomorrow, chase down some fish, and have a good time. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right.
Before we go, just telling you guys that we're going to restock on 4th of July bracelets.
Okay, restocking on 4th of July bracelets. Hit us up if you want one. We'll catch you next week. Later.
Later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.